Hey everybody, I just want to share a quick story. Last week when I was coming in off the road, I was struggling with my bags. I was trying to do it all in one before I wouldn't have to come back down from my place. And this lady peeped around a corner, and I guess she heard the shuffling and the scuffling I was doing. She said, "Oh, you need help." She said, like, plain out of day, "Oh, you need help." And she came in, she helped me all the way to my door with my bags. And I said, "You're not from here, are you?" She said, "Well, I was born here, but I now live in Georgia." I said, "Georgia? Where in Georgia?" She said, "Atlanta." I said, "Get out of here." I said, "Ma'am, I am from Gainesville, Georgia." She said, "No, you're not." So she told me her story of how she met her husband here, and he's retired from the military, and they now reside in Atlanta, Georgia. And she was downstairs at the senior citizen place. I live above a senior home. She said that they just placed their mom there about a month ago, and she's not really happy with the decision. And she said, "Yeah, they're pretty good. They normally deal with people with Alzheimer's." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Does your mom speak English at all?" She said, "No, she doesn't. They're from Turkey, I think. I think they were from Turkey." So now, just now, I'm coming up coming from my car with my bag that I can carry. And I see this lady just sitting outside with short hair, and she's gazing into the sun with her hands in her pocket. And I said, "Guten Tag." She lit up. She said, "Guten Tag." And I turned around. And I said, "I wonder if this is her mother, the lady that I met last week." So I went back and I spoke my broken German. And I said, "Do you have a son and daughter?" She said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "What is your son's name?" I couldn't remember the son's name. She told me the son's name. I couldn't remember. I said, "And your daughter? What is your daughter's name?" And the minute she said her daughter's name, I remembered. She said, Sadet. And I said, "Oh my gosh, this is like a full circle for me." And I told her that I met her son and daughter last week. And she said, "Yes, now I understood. Her daughter lives in Atlanta, Georgia." I said, "Yes, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia as well." So it just warmed my heart that for me it was a full circle, first of all, and I can't wait to reach out to Sadet. I want to reach out to Sadet to let her know that I met your beautiful, beautiful mom, and I look forward to having a conversation with her, even if it's just for 15 minutes. I'm gonna have my translator on. We're gonna have a conversation. Y'all have a good Easter. I just had to share that. Mwah.